always easy. You're in this for a reason. You love what you do. You love teaching. You love these kids. Welcome to a brand new vlog. I feel like it has been so long since I vlogged. There's a story behind that, but I am back to vlogging. It feels so good. It is currently Wednesday the 19th of September. Okay, I set you guys down to chat because I just feel like there is so much to catch you guys up on. Oh my gosh. So first of all, last week I did not vlog because I wasn't feeling well. I actually hit my head and I had a mild concussion, and I was out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I came in Thursday and Friday, but it was so difficult. Obviously noises like really affected me, and so did light. I kept my lights off in my classroom, but I mean, you work with kids all day, so you're gonna have noise, and it was very challenging. I did not feel well, and so I didn't vlog. I just couldn't get in front of the camera, not feeling like myself. Like, that's just not something that I wanted to do. So I hope you guys can understand, but I'm feeling much better. Every day is a little better. Today is probably the best day so far, and yeah, I want to turn my lights off here and there throughout the day if I can, like my planning period and stuff like that. After I film this, I'm probably going to turn them off because I'm actually on my planning period right now. So it does help, and at the end of the day I do feel like my head is full still, but for the most part I feel like myself again, which is fantastic because it was terrible. I hated teaching that way. I hated teaching and feeling in a fog. It was not fun. So as for projects, I am starting my first round of art lessons with all the kids. Yeah, they did their sketchbooks and stuff like that, and I did like dot lessons, but I mean like actual multi-class lessons. And so it's really exciting, and I feel great about it. I love working with the kids on these lessons, and it's always hard in the beginning of the year when you're going over everything. I still have stuff to go over, but it's just difficult in the beginning of the year when you're doing like these little lessons that you need to do. I mean, it's not like they're not valuable, but it's hard because I just have so much fun with doing the big projects and seeing the kids' progress and them being proud of the end result. Like, there's just nothing better. So I'm really excited that we are starting them. I'm going to show you kind of like what the kids have been doing. So I did see 5th grade and 6th grade this morning. 6th grade is still working on their sketchbooks because I only see them once every 6 days. 5th grade is starting to work on their weaving. We are going to be doing circle weaving, and the loom for our weaving is a paper plate. This would be so easy for anybody to do if you were interested in it, and it's also like something that the kids can do to calm them. It would be a great center. It also would be great if you homeschool your kids. This would be an awesome activity because it works on fine motor skills. It's just, I mean, weaving has so many benefits. So today what the kids did was they just kind of created the loom portion, and I walked them through step by step. I don't like to teach like that most of the time. Most of the time I demo, I model, I try to make it interactive where I have students model, and then we talk about what we noticed, and then the kids go and they work independently. This was a little different. I had to do it step by step, and they followed along with me. So I had my projector and I worked on my desk, and then they followed along. All right, so I'm gonna unravel this so that you guys can see how it's done and how you make the loom. It's really easy, and I also incorporate math, which is really fun. So what I have the kids do is just pretend that this is not taped on yet. They take their paper plate, and I tell them to put a dash at 12 o'clock, a dash at 6 o'clock. I ask them then how they can divide their plate into quarters. So they would put a dash at 3 o'clock and a dash at 9 o'clock. And then I say, okay, now it's in 4 quarters. How can we make it in 8 pieces, eighths? And they then put a dash to divide the quarter and, you know, make into 8 equal pieces. And then I say, okay, you have 8, how can you make 16? And then divide it again. So then I have them count and make sure they have 16 little dash marks on their plate, on the back of their plate. And then I take the scissors, and you have to do this because honestly, kids, for big scissors, like, it's weird, they don't know, and I don't know if anyone really taught me or I just kind of figured it out on my own, but kids always want to cut with, like, can you see that, just a little tip of the scissors? And then they struggle so much. So I say, open the scissors mouths up really wide and go to the back of the scissors mouth, and then they get it. So once they complete all of those slots, I have them make a little arrow at the top going one direction and the bottom going the opposite direction. That's really important for them so that they can understand how to do this weaving. They tape the string on the back, and then they go from 12 o'clock down to the other arrow, 6 o'clock, and then since that arrow is telling me to go to the right, you go and take the yarn underneath to the next door neighbor, and then that yarn is going to cross the street to make a intersecting line, another math word, and go into that slot, and then that it's going to go into the next door neighbor's house, cross the street again to make another intersecting line. You could even talk about angles if you wanted to incorporate more math into this, and then go in to the next door neighbor, and you keep doing that, and you keep doing it over and over again until all of your slots have yarn in it. Is that it? Okay, then I'm done. So then I put it in my last little slot there, and then I would just cut the extra and tape it off on the back. And that is your loom. And so then for the next class, I'll teach them how to attach yarn, and then what they'll do is start weaving in and out, up and down throughout this to create a circular weaving. So it's really cool, and like I said, it's so calming for the kids. They love the hands-on. Fiber arts is just an amazing thing to teach kids. I thought it'd be a fun thing to do in the beginning of the year. It practices listening skills. Like I said, it's good for fine motor. It's calming. So for 2nd and 3rd grade, I'm doing a sewing project as well, which, do I have time to show you? I think I have a little time to show you. This is my idea for 2nd and 3rd grade. I wanted to do a sewing project with them that was simple and also just has purpose, so they can use this in their life. It's just not an art lesson, it's a life skill lesson. So I wanted to start with just the running stitch, and then I also wanted to teach them how to sew on a button. And what they're going to be doing is sewing a felt piece into an envelope. This will be able to be wound around the button and open up. And if you notice, they're also going to make a running stitch to create a tic-tac-toe board. Then with clay, they will make little tic-tac-toe pieces that go inside of their envelope. And I'm not sure yet if I want the tic-tac-toe pieces just to be like little stones that they paint, or if I want them to create like their own version of their tic-tac-toe pieces and make little, I don't know, like clay pieces of their choice. But the size is what has me leaning against that, because it is 2nd and 3rd grade, and I don't think they can work small enough for that. So I might just have them make shapes and do it that way, but that will come later. First, they are just practicing sewing, and I'm teaching them the running stitch. So this is the practice sheet I made. This is just paper, which sometimes the kids will rip, and they won't rip the fabric. But I only had that happen once yesterday, where a kid kept ripping the paper, but I assured him, that's not going to happen when you have felt. So as long as you understand it, you're good to go. And this is just them practicing sewing a straight line, trying to get the spacing right. I found a really cool video online, and it shows the running stitch like a narwhal, and the narwhal is the needle, and it goes up and down, and you go down into the water, up out of the water, down into the water, and it dives. It's really, really neat. So I did already prep the yarn this morning for 2nd and 3rd grade. I just wrap a bunch of yarn, basically make like a big circle of the yarn. I do it over and over, and then I cut each end so that they're single pieces. It's just a lot easier to prep yarn in that way instead of like cutting each individual piece. I need to make copies of this, and then I also need to cut little white pieces of paper to help them thread their needle. I will show you how to thread a needle the easy way, and it's cute so they remember, because it's like a little story. Okay, so what you will need to thread a needle, and this is what I need to cut before this afternoon, is just little strips of white paper. Well, not white paper, just little strips of paper. And then they don't have to be thick or anything. This is printer paper. You're gonna fold it in half like that. And then for practice, I am having them practice with plastic yarn needles. I'm going, however, to tell them that they need to pretend that this is a sharp needle. That way they get in the habit of treating the needles safely. And how I organize my needles, not for these since they're just the yarn ones, I just have them in this container, but for the sharp one, I just assign every needle to their class number. That way I know if I'm missing one and who it belongs to. When you are teaching a student to thread a needle, you want to fold that paper in half and you want to pretend that this is your fish. The fish goes through the eye of the needle, he gets stuck, and then his mouth opens up. The fishing line goes through his mouth like that, and then he gets really scared from the fishing line, and so he swims back away. And there you go. And now your needle is threaded. It's super easy. It's a fun story. So yeah, that's just how I teach them how to do it. And then I make sure that I tell them to make their hands look like a duck. The duck grabs the needle and the thread when you're sewing, because a lot of times kids will just grab the needle and when they pull up, the string will fall out. So always I say, make a hand like a duck. Duck grabs the needle and the thread, and now you're ready to go. Okay, I have a couple more things to update you guys on, but I have a meeting. So I'm gonna go to that meeting, come back for my lunch, and then it'll be time to start my afternoon. All right, I just got back. So before I eat, I will explain to you guys what kindergarten's doing. We are studying colors right now. So last week, every day we wore a different color. We started with red and went through the rainbow. We are done the rainbow. Yesterday was actually our violet day, and today is our brown day. So this was my brown. I have brown shoes on, but and then tomorrow I think is black and gray. So we're pretty much done. It was like it was last week and then a little bit of the week before that. So kindergarten is making this rainbow mosaic. I'm teaching them the word collage and mosaic, and they will be using paper. This also works on fine motor because they will be ripping the pieces of paper. I also introduce glue to them, and of course the review of the colors and the order of the rainbow. I'm having my students sit at the carpet today, my kindergartners and first graders, and that is where I will demonstrate on my easel, and I will show them this color wheel, and then also I have a really cute video that teaches them the order of the rainbow. It's a song, and then they can learn it and sing along. I always set up this little stool with anything that I need for my demo. It sits right next to my rocker and my easel, and then I did paint this stool. My intention was to paint every stool in my room at some point, but you guys, time. So it's inspired by Eric Carle. If I move this, you'll see, oop, he's upside down. Let me turn around. And then we have our hungry caterpillar, and it looks like that on the front. So this just sits here. This is also one of my take a break areas for my kiddos who are maybe struggling or just need a break during class. But for demo, I just keep my stuff on there. For this activity, they're using a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. They get to choose between a pre-cut circle. I joke and I say it's a clown nose. They love that. Or a heart. And that is going to start their rainbow mosaic, and they can put it in the center just like that. And then I give them orange to start, and this is what they rip up to create their mosaic radial designs. And then some of them might get to yellow, but probably not all of them. First grade yesterday got to yellow and a little bit of green, but kindergarten mostly just did orange, and then I think 1 or 2 did yellow. Before, I've used glue sponges where you fill the sponge with glue, and then the kids would take their paper and they tap it on the sponge and they get some glue on their sponge. That works great. It's just hard to maintain, and I do have stuff to prep my glue sponges. I just haven't done it this year, and I feel like, I don't know, I've been putting it off because it works wonderful, but it's just, like I said, hard to keep up with. The sponges sometimes dry out. I don't know, I'm just not sure if I want to go that way this year. I'm kind of using this lesson as a test to see if they can use a little cup of glue and a brush instead. I feel like if I could prep these materials and leave them at the supply store for them, maybe that would be a good option. If I can teach them and model them how to do it and not make a crazy mess with it. Yesterday the kids did phenomenal. I use these really big brushes, and since they are so big, it's just what I had when I came and, you know, I got this job, and I looked in my supply room. I haven't bought anything since because they work fine. They're just long, and so I tell the kids that it's their magic wands and it will make them a better artist because it's magic. I do have to remind them though to put their hand down to the silver, because if not, they'll hold it up here. So I model and I model and I model, and I have a kid join me, and then they model, and we talk about what do you notice about the way that we dip our paintbrush in the cup, we brush it off on the side of the cup to get the extra glue off, and how we apply it to our paper. And by slowing it down and modeling it like that, the kids did really well. So I just have them dip it very carefully in, not scoop it, just touch it and then brush it against the side. And then I teach them to glue just a little bit at a time. I like your sizes. Maybe you can fit some in here so we fill up our white space, honey. It is the end of the day. It was such a good day. I'm tired, but it was such a good day. The reason I'm exhausted is because, like I said, I'm doing lessons where it's more like teacher driven, and I hate doing lessons like that, but it's just required for this. Next time I see these kids, it's gonna be more them working independently and me just guiding them, which is what it should be. But you know, sometimes you just have lessons where you have to walk the kids through stuff, and that's okay. So I'm tired, my voice is sore, but it really was a great day. The kindergarten class that I had today went so well, and first grade, really my whole afternoon basically went so well, but especially kindergarten and first grade, they were so engaged that they were silent without me reminding them. Like, I didn't say a word about their volume, they were just so quiet. I played a few YouTube videos about color and things like that while they were working, and they were singing along like really quietly. It was so peaceful. It was such an amazing class. It was one of those classes where it was just so fun to teach, and I really enjoyed myself, and that's what teaching should be. It's not always that way. I mean, you're gonna have days where it's hard. You're gonna have days where the kids really just challenge you. And these are the days that you need to remember on those bad days, because sometimes those bad days, like, they seem worse than they really are. But to have that sense of perspective that, yes, it's not always easy, but like, you're in this for a reason. You love what you do, you love teaching, you love these kids, and maybe today wasn't a great day, but it's not like that all the time. And even the hard times make you a better teacher. So if there's any way at all, if you're a teacher, that you can in some way kind of like do some sort of reflection, I think it's really helpful to look back on, even if it's like student notes that they leave you to make you kind of like feel good on rough days, even if it is just jotting down something funny a student said, like anything like that, I think is worth pausing to do so that you have it on those hard days. That was my food for thought for you for this Wednesday. I'm gonna straighten up the room, and then I am going to get going and go home and just have a relaxing night. I have some grad work to do, but other than that, I think I'm just gonna be relaxing and making dinner, doing a couple chores, the usual. So I will be vlogging tomorrow, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Happy Thursday. So this morning I had 6th and 5th grade, and it was another good morning. I'm excited to have my kinders and 1st grade again today and do the project I did yesterday with them, and hopefully they work just as well as the kids did yesterday, because they were amazing. So I actually just sat down, I'm on my planning right now, and I put together a playlist for the kindergartners and the 1st graders, and I just did a playlist on YouTube of videos that I'm gonna play while they work, because yesterday they worked so well with having like calming music about colors and shapes and all kinds of stuff that I just found on YouTube, primarily from this one YouTube channel. I'm looking at it now on my computer, but it's called Kids TV 123. If you are in need of something like this, check out their videos, because they have a lot. I've used the rainbow one for years. I showed that, I think, in yesterday's video, but I'm just putting together like a compilation. That way it can just play through and I don't have to keep going to my computer. And like I said, I just have a bunch of color songs, rainbow songs, alphabet, The Dot song is on there, and if you don't know this one yet, you have to show your kids this. It's amazing. It's the Dot song that goes with the book The Dot, and then it also goes through motions, hand motions, and the kids love that. I also have this playlist, and I just call it end of class videos. I'm gonna keep adding to this as well. So I have been putting on a quick little video, usually a story, like an animated film for the kids, and that way they can watch this while I clean up the room and everything. Alright guys, I think I have just enough time to show you my outfit, and then I'm going to set the camera down and just prep all of this stuff that I just put on my to-do list. That way I am ready for this afternoon, and then I'm gonna go to lunch, come back. It's gonna be kindergarten, first grade, third grade, second grade. The afternoon flies because it's 4 straight classes. The morning I usually only have 2 classes. So yeah, it will fly. It really will. And I think I'll hop on here at the end of the day. If I don't, I will see you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow we actually have a the kids have a half day. I wish I had a half day. The kids have a half day. And then we have an in-service. And I think the in-service is just a work day, I think. So for my top, I have on this striped blue and white shirt. It has these blue pretty like crocheted details at the bottom. I have on white pants, yes, after Labor Day, because 1, I don't really go by those rules, and 2, today was wear white day for the colors for kindergarten. And then for my shoes, I have on these nude sandals that I've worn before, and then my mantra bands. My earrings today are these gold dangly ones, and yeah, that's my outfit for today. Good morning, happy Friday. I'm so excited it's Friday and it's a half day for the kids. I have 2 classes this morning. I have 5th grade and then 4th grade, and I am continuing with 5th grade with the weaving. So that's actually what I've been prepping this morning. And then I also had a leadership meeting, which went pretty well. We just went over a few things, and yeah, that was really it. That was my morning so far. Here are the plates of the looms I showed you earlier. I'm gonna flip you around and show you how I'm gonna have the kids actually start weaving today. I'm hoping that it goes well, but sometimes on half days the kids' energy is just really high and they're excited, and I get it. So I might have to kind of just like read their energy and see how much we're gonna get done today. If it's just gonna be like do a little bit and then do a sketching day in their sketchbooks, or if they are really into it and calm, then I'll keep going. So anyway, I will flip you around and show you how we do the actual weaving portion of this project. First of all, don't mind my desk. Oh, and also I totally spilled my entire coffee all over me. You can't like see it anymore, but yeah, I was talking with my hands and I was holding my coffee, and my other hand like hit the lip of my turban and it flew off, and the coffee went all over me. And yesterday I had white pants on, so I'm really lucky that it didn't happen yesterday. So yeah, here's my loom that the kids made last class. I am having them take a big piece of yarn and we're gonna double it, and that way it's not as tedious for them. In the past I've had them do single strands for their weavings and it takes them so long, and I'm gonna give them that option. I mean, they can still use single strands, but I'm gonna show them doing it this way with the double, especially because this is such a big space. So what they do is they double their yarn and then they wind it on a popsicle stick and they tape it, and then this is what they will actually be moving in and out of their loom. They tie this to the center, so like if their center is not lined up perfectly, when they take all these strands and they tie it, it'll make all of them come to the center, and then that's when they would start weaving with the popsicle stick going up and down, in and out. And then thinking about future projects, I'm thinking for 2nd and 3rd grade, I'm going to actually teach them knitting with real knitting needles, not just finger knitting. My principal, she's wonderful, and she did it with her 2nd graders when she was a teacher. And so I have just been like practicing, because I've knitted before, but I'm more of a crocheter, so I just needed to get back in the flow of it before I actually started teaching it. So I did a little bit of this morning. Now she said that she cast it on for her students first, and then she had this poem for them. It's really cute. So it goes in through the front door, around the back, out through the window, and off comes Jack. This is super cute, and I think with that poem it'll help them. I was even saying it like as I was doing it. So she said she had the yarn and the needles all donated, so I got a bunch from her. I'm thinking maybe instead of doing it as a whole group, I'm going to do it as small group instruction for early finishers. And then once the whole class is instructed on how to do it, I will have a station for them. So it's just like something for them to do when they finish their project that the whole class is working on. And I just would have to be careful that they wouldn't rush their project to get to the knitting, but I deal with that problem regardless. I deal with it all the time because kids always want to rush their project to get to like the finished early activities. But this is honestly like knitting, fiber arts, sewing, all that stuff is so common for the kids. So I think that this would be a really fun thing to teach. And you'd be surprised about like what type of students really calm down from this. It's the ones that you wouldn't expect to love it. They love it. They really do. All right guys, so it is around 2 o'clock. I'm just kind of like cleaning up my room right now. The kids left at 12:30-ish. So since then I've just been organizing some stuff. I did some online trainings that we had to do. It's nice that we can do online. It's like where you watch a video and then you do quizzes and stuff. Yeah, I'm just getting ready for next week basically. But I'm almost done, so that's awesome. And then I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna organize my planner and like just figure out what I need to do this weekend for grad school. Today there wasn't too much to talk about because I only saw my 2 classes. It stinks I missed my younger kiddos, but what are you gonna do? And yeah, half day, I'm not going to complain about that. It's nice to get a little break, especially because I was so tired this morning, so tired. This week felt really long. It was a good week though. It was not a bad week. It just felt really long. So I'm excited to have the weekend to relax. I kind of want to do something outside tomorrow, either go kayaking or something because it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be sunny and 70 degrees. It's like the perfect weather. Alright everybody, I'm going to wrap this vlog up. I hope you're having an amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Comment below, like this video, all that fun jazz, and I will catch you in my next vlog. Bye.